The King's South Africa Medal is a British campaign medal which was awarded to all British and colonial military personnel who served in the Second Boer War in South Africa, who were in the theatre on or after the 1st of January 1902 and who had completed 18 months' service in the conflict prior to the 1st of June 1902. Institution. The fourth campaign medal for the Second Boer War and the second which could be awarded for service in South Africa, the King's South Africa Medal, was instituted in 1902 and was the first British campaign medal to be instituted by King Edward VII. Recipients had to have served in the theatre of war between the 1st of January 1902 and the 31st of May 1902 inclusive and completed 18 months' service, not necessarily continuous, in the conflict prior to the 1st of June 1902. The medal recognized service in the difficult latter phases of the war and rewarded those who, by their long service in the field, had brought the campaign to a successful conclusion. The medal was never awarded singly, but was always paired with the Queen's South Africa Medal. The Second Boer War, poor logistics over very long logistics lines and disease, combined with having to fight against a disciplined and capable enemy of excellent horsemen and marksmen who perfected guerrilla warfare, made this a hard-won medal, in addition to men often having had to go without basics such as food and water. Enteric fever killed several thousand and was a constant drain on manpower. Published casualty rolls run to over 50,000 names, while studies of contemporary publications and reports put the actual figure for all casualties at 97,000. This war is notorious for the British scorched earth policy, which was implemented when it became clear that the guerrilla tactics practiced by the Republican Boer forces could not be overcome by conventional means. In 1901, Emily Hobhouse reported on the genocide which was taking place in the 45 British concentration camps for Boer women, children and elderly, in which, over an 18-month period, 26,370 people would die, 24,000 of them boys and girls under 16. Exact mortality figures in the 64 concentration camps for black displaced farm workers and the families are not known, but was probably even worse. Award criteria. The medal. The King's South Africa Medal was awarded only to those troops who fought in 1902, and who had served for 18 months. Even with continuous service, the recipient would have had to have served from the 1st of December 1900 to have 18 months service before the war ended on the 31st of May 1902. Service, therefore, had to have commenced before the death of Queen Victoria on the 22nd of January 1901 and, as a result, the majority of participants qualified for the award of the Queen's South Africa Medal only. Men who were invalided out of South Africa due to wounds prior to the 1st of January 1902 but who returned and served any time between the 1st of January 1902 and 31 May 1902 were also granted the medal, provided they had completed the 18-month aggregate qualifying service. Clasps. To-date clasps were awarded for service in 1901 and 1902, but nurses did not qualify to receive either clasp. Apart from the nearly 600 nursing sisters who were awarded the King's South Africa Medal without a clasp, the medal was always awarded with at least one clasp and in most cases with both, with the exception of, for example, nurses who were all awarded the medal without a clasp, or wounded men who returned to action in 1902 after having been out of action for the whole of 1901 and who could therefore possibly receive the medal with only the 1902 clasp. The rest of the recipients were awarded the medal medal with both clasps. The date clasps are normally worn with the King's South Africa Medal, but are worn with the Queen's South Africa Medal by those recipients who had qualified for one or both of the clasps, but who were ineligible for the award of the King's Medal. The two clasps are: South Africa 1901, awarded to all troops who served in South Africa between the 1st of January 1901 and the 31st of December 1901 inclusive. South Africa 1902, awarded to all troops who served in South Africa between the 1st of January 1902 and the 31st of May 1902 inclusive. Order of wear. Campaign medals and stars are not listed by name in the order of wear prescribed by the British Central Chancery of the Orders of Knighthood, but are all grouped together as taking precedence after the Queen's Medal for Chiefs and before the Polar Medals, in order of the date of the campaign for which awarded. The British order of precedence of the Second Boer War campaign medals is as follows: the Queen's South Africa Medal, the Queen's Mediterranean Medal, the Transport Medal, the King's South Africa Medal. In the order of wear of British campaign medals, the King's South Africa Medal takes precedence after the Ashanti Medal and before the Africa General Service Medal. South Africa, even though the Republican awards for the Anglo-Boer War, the Decorativvortroewedienst and the two campaign awards, the Medal voor de Anglo-Boer Oorlog and the Lint voor Verwonding, were instituted on behalf of King George V by His Royal Highness, the Governor-General of the Union of South Africa. The Decorativvortroewedienst is not listed in the British Order of Wear, and the two campaign awards would therefore most likely also have been excluded. The South African order of precedence of the Second Boer War campaign medals, in order of the date of the campaign for which awarded, is as follows: the Queen's South Africa Medal, the Medal voor de Anglo-Boer Oorlog, the Lint voor Verwonding, the King's South Africa Medal. In the South African order of wear, in respect of British campaign medals applicable to South Africa, the King's South Africa Medal takes precedence before the Native Rebellion Medal, with effect from the 6th of April 1952, when a new South African set of decorations and medals was instituted to replace the British awards used to date. The older British decorations and medals applicable to South Africa continued to be worn in the same order of precedence, but, with the exception of the Victoria Cross, took precedence after all South African orders, decorations and medals awarded to South Africans on or after that date. Of the official British campaign medals which were applicable to South Africans, the King's South Africa Medal takes precedence as shown, preceded by the Lint voor Verwonding, succeeded by the Native Rebellion Medal. Description: the King's South Africa Medal is a silver disc, 38 mm in diameter and 3 mm thick. Obverse: the obverse shows King Edward VII, in Field Marshal's uniform and facing left, with the legend EDWARDVS7 Rex Imperator around the upper perimeter. Reverse: the reverse shows Britannia holding the Union flag in her left hand and a laurel wreath in her right hand. In the right background are troops marching inland from the coast. In the left background are two men of war, with Neptune's trident and Britannia's shield on the ground in the foreground. Around the top perimeter are the words, South Africa. The reverse is identical to the third version reverse of the Queen's South Africa Medal, with the wreath almost touching the F of Africa. Clasps: the clasps were attached to the suspender and to each other in roller chain fashion with rivets. The date clasps, in a pair or singly, were often issued to an eligible recipient after the medal, with the result that clasps were frequently attached with unofficial rivets, or worn loose on the ribbon if the recipient didn't bother to have them attached. Ribbon: the ribbon is 32 mm wide, with an 11 mm wide green band. a 10 mm wide white band and an 11 mm wide orange band. As was often done with subsequent campaign medals, the colors of the ribbon represent those of the countries in which the campaign took place: green and white for the South African Republic and orange and white for the Orange Free State.